This is ground control to Major Tom. You really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirt you wear.
Crime Corner. We should do a astronaut with Crime Corner. Yeah.
This is Major
Tom to ground control.
I'm stepping through the door.
And I'm floating in the most
Peculiar way. I actually do a great Bowie.
That's pretty fucking
Today. Here am I sitting in the- This is just a trip.
Well,
I'm not
love
so
the song,
much.
and I still do.
I'm not so much hyped as I am like in the world that we're about to go into. Right? We're going method. We're in space. Right?
I think the bar for entry for being an astronaut has gotten real low these days.
Oh my God. Well, oh. Yeah,
I mean, if Katy Perry can do it.
Katy Perry can do it, and definitely the bar for women. Now they're just sending full spaceships of women. Only women.
I mean, shit, as far as I'm
Is there
concerned.
a guy on that one somewhere?
Just send them all.
Just send them all. Gosh. So your new character is just super misogynist. Is that what we're leaning into?
Apparently. I don't
Coop
know.
is
Maybe-
just...
Maybe it's just, this episode brought something out of me.
It really did. And I will be the opposite. I'm usually a misogynist right there with you.
Oh, that's going to make me look bad.
Oh, yeah.
Usually it's okay because I look better in comparison.
Yeah. We're like, if the woman's being misogynist, like, at least he says a couple nice things about gals. We're going to do the intro first before we start talking about how we feel about all this stuff. But
Yeah.
now it has something to do with space, something to do with astronauts. And this is in our vein of revisiting cases with a different lens, right?
Oh, yep.
Revisiting big cases from our childhood, looking at it with new 2026, very mature eyes. All right, so if we're talking about Coop's new character of being a misogynist, if I have a newfound Bowie impression that I didn't know about that you guys now are probably in love with, if we're talking about space, which you guys know I have no interest, literally none, not one bit, nothing. No interest in going, no interest in looking, no interest, none of the stuff.
Not even looking.
Not even looking. No interest. But I'm interested in astronauts and their crazy shit. They're crazy shit. You might be thinking about what we might be talking about, but we're going to let you know right now. You must be listening to Crime Corner.
Authorities are desperately searching for a killer accused of going on a rampage.
The search for a possible serial killer.
An urgent manhunt for a man authorities believe is behind a triple killing spree.
Police here speculating that a possible serial killer may have struck again.
Told her to get out of the car, and that's when she became afraid, and then I shot her.
I'm your host, Jesse Wiseman. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Coop, and producer extraordinaire, Luke. Before we start, head over to Spotify, rate and review, leave us a comment about how much you love my Bowie impression and how much you're kind of feeling a little bit worried about Coop's leaning into misogyny. That's also the best place to leave any cases that you want us to cover in the future. Unfortunately, this is not one of them, but we do have to take a break from all of the hardcore serial killer brutal shit that you guys suggest. And we do it.
Yeah.
We do it. But we do have to do a little breather of cases that we feel that we want to cover and kind of lighten the mood a little bit. If you listen on Apple, go ahead and rate and review us there too. That's all I'm going to ask you for right now. Later, I'm going to ask you for a lot more things. Today, we've got another fun and flirty episode for you that's got all of our favorite things. A woman making a daring foray into a male-dominated field. No, it's not me. The same woman, male-dominated field of true crime. Yeah, true crime podcasting. I'm really breaking through.
I think that's the only part of podcasting that isn't completely dominated by men.
It's true, but I'm trying to make it still very misogynistic. Yep. The same woman rising to the occasion and defying all expectations. And then that same woman fucking it all up in a spectacular fashion. Is this about me? I don't know. This is the case of Lisa Nowak.
It is Nowak.
What do you think it is?
I think if you pronounce it ethnically, it is supposed to be
Novak, huh?
Right? Yeah, it's like Eastern European or something.
Novak. I hear it different ways. What do we want to do? Real?
I'll go with Nowak.
Lisa Nowak. Novak.
No,
Let's go Novak.
Okay, Novak. I'll go with Novak.
Let's go with Novak because it's right and because that's probably how people remember it, yeah?
I think so.
Yes. Or they remember it.
There's a very specific way that people actually
There's a very specific way. There's a headline. I don't know. Do I say the headline now? No.
Let's ease into it.
Let's ease into the headline. The only thing I'm going to do is give a little teaser. This is another case of guys, and I like to use these cases sometimes to give you guys some advice. You have to be upfront. You have to. If you're not into somebody, you gotta break it off, okay? Especially if the reason that you like the person is they're unpredictable. Okay? That they're lots of fun and cuckoo crazy, right? You've got to be straightforward and really break it off. You can't ghost, you can't whatever.
The safest bet is not sticking your dick in crazy in the first place, but that is extremely difficult.
Extremely difficult, and that's not necessarily what happened here, but there is a case of a cowardly man that didn't know what he was dealing with, and I'm just letting you guys know. Assume every time that this could be the thing that sends her over the edge. If you kind of leave things ambiguous, or maybe you're like, leave a door open in any way, you've got to shut the door on someone that you really, really don't want to be involved with.
I mean, I dare say that's a safe way to approach any situation with a woman.
If you're honest.
Just think like, okay, is this going to be the thing that sends her over the edge?
Or if you think to yourself,
cup in the sink, or I didn't hang my towel up or something like that. This is what is going to ultimately end my life.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to think. But also, if you really don't want to be with someone, you have to think to yourself, am I just being a coward, or do I actually want to hang out with this person more? So if the answer is I'm just being a coward, man up, because cowards have lost their lives. Again, no murder in this one, so sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Anyone who has ever been in love will tell you, love can make you do crazy things. When you're in the honeymoon phase and the hormones are on full blast, you'll do almost anything for the object of your affection. For some people, this means making grand romantic gestures like filling a room with flowers or having their name plastered across the sky by a skywriter. For others, it means something a little different. When you're madly in love with someone, madness is part of the process. But what happens when you're already a little mad before the process even begins? In that case, the grand gestures made by others are your starting point, meaning you have to crank the dial past 11 and do something that a normal person would never dream of. Possibly even something that others may consider to be criminal.
Okay, so as we do, we're going to Tarantino it. Around 4 a.m. on the morning of February 5th, 2007, a 30-year-old Air Force captain named Colleen Shipman was sitting in her car in the parking lot of the Orlando International Airport. Let's get a picture of Colleen. Okay.
Very severe looking woman.
She does look a Shipman. Shipman
She
doesn't.
reminds me a little bit of like Tilda Swinton, like as a young person.
Yes.
Like, I feel like I could see her in a Nazi uniform in an Indiana Jones movie or something.
And also the grain of this picture I thought was from that era as well, but it's not.
Oh yeah, it adds a lot to the effect though.
Colleen had just arrived home after a long flight from Houston, Texas, where she had been visiting her boyfriend, Bill.
Yeah, this one we're gonna have to workshop. I think it's Opheline or Opheline.
Opheline, who was an astronaut at the Johnson Space Center. So let's get a picture of Bill. Starting out with the characters. So Bill, flat top.
Oh yeah, jarhead for sure.
Flat top astronaut.
Saying he was a Marine, but he's got that jarhead shape.
And you know what's interesting about astronauts? I've never seen a hot one.
No.
But, because you have to be like super smart and nerdy and stuff. But with all their regalia on, you can, sometimes you can.
You're like a man in uniform, huh?
A man in uniform, and then what they do,
They're
you go
charismatic.
like, it's the exact definition of like, they're not hot, but like what they do and how crazy they are. Anyway.
It works for him, yeah.
It works for him. Those big suits.
And I personally haven't seen like an actual astronaut that goes into space. I haven't seen one that isn't just fully charismatic, like does well in an interview and is smiling, has a good personality. They don't come across as like shut-ins or autists or.
Yeah, they have to. Like I think they do like personality tests beforehand to make sure that like they work really well as a team and everything.
They go through rigorous, like mental tests and, checks basically, along with everything else. But so that's Bill, flat top. So after spending all night on a red-eye flight, Colleen was ready to go home, but her bags had not arrived. So the airport had told her that the bags will be here in like 2 hours. So she's like, okay, fine. And ended up staying at the airport waiting for the bags.
I would have been so fucking pissed.
Yeah, well, I would have gone to wherever I was home and been like, fucking deliver. Like, I think this was delivery days, 2007, sure. Or come back. Like for red eye, I'd be like, dude, I'm just going home.
Yeah, fuck
right?
that. I'm going straight
Fuck
to bed.
that. So she ended up waiting and sleeping on, as if you were waiting for a flight. Like, girl, if you don't have to be there, go, get out. But anyway, so she finally did get her bags, and as she was walking to her car, she started hearing footsteps behind her. And even when she was waiting for her bag, there was kind of like a weird lady like around, like when she pulled her bags out, and got on the tram with her. But you're kind of just like, people, by the way, at that time and in airports, trying to like point out a weird person, it's like, okay, they're all fucking weird. It's all fucking weird. It's just a hellhole that we're all trying to like get through. So she's like, fine, get on the tram. She gets off the tram, starts walking to her car. The weird lady in a trench coat gets off and starts following her. She's hearing footsteps as she's walking up to her car, and they're getting faster. This is like every woman's nightmare, that like the person that you kind of thought was weird is now like fast footsteps behind you in a parking garage. Yes, it's literally what we've trained ourselves with the keys and the knuckles to like deal with our entire lives. So this is happening. She gets to her car, closes the door, thankfully in time, and this lady comes up to the window. And she's knocking on the window, and the woman explained that her car battery had died and she was in need of a jump start. And Colleen through the closed window was like, I can't, like, I've got to go, but I'm sorry, like, I can't help you. She's being very smart, very smart. Like, I'll get someone to help you. I cannot in this dark parking lot, and you can't ask me to do this. So she's like, I'll have someone come back and help you. I'll go down and get help at the front. Like, just, I can't do this. And at that point, the woman began to cry hysterically. And this is when Colleen, being a woman, her kind of stupidity kicked in. I mean, her empathy, her empathy kicked in. And she started to feel bad, because that's what we do. And then we're like, oh, shit. She's like, this lady's crying. My boyfriend was supposed to get me. He's not getting me. So Colleen's thinking, okay, I'll just roll down the window a little bit. But it was one of those automatic windows on newer cars. You have them. If you press it a little, it'll go all the way down. So she's like, oh, crap. And right then, when the window started going down all the way, the woman suddenly reached into her pocket and pulled out a small cylindrical object. Colleen had a split second to react as a cloud of pepper spray began filling her car. She quickly rolled up the window before more of the gaseous gas could fill the cabin, then threw the car in reverse and gunned it. The woman in the parking lot briefly ran after Colleen before changing her mind and fleeing in the darkness. So this is a terrifying scene. Colleen is basically blinded, driving away. I can't believe she didn't crash.
Seriously, going through an airport parking lot?
Right.
Even at night, those things are packed.
But this is just all around really creepy, weird. What did you want from me? It's not like you're stealing anything, Just a very creepy, out of nowhere attack, and is everyone's nightmare. So
Colleen reported the attack to the local police, who dispatched officers to the airport to track down the mysterious woman in the trench coat. Luckily, she hadn't had time to get away before police were able to catch up to her in the very parking lot where the attack occurred. Once she was in custody, investigators were shocked by the woman's identity. She wasn't some petty criminal or run-of-the-mill lunatic. Her name was NASA Captain Lisa Nowak. Nowak or Nowak?
I think we're going...
Nowak?
Again, I've heard it both ways, but I'm trying to remember in our days. Nowak. Nowak.
Her name was NASA Captain Lisa Nowak, and she was an American hero. She was also pants-shittingly insane, but luckily she had a solution for that part, and that was a bag of space-age diapers. To explain how a woman with the right stuff ended up on the wrong end of the law, we must start at the beginning. Born in Washington, D.C. on May 10, 1963, Lisa Marie Caputo was the oldest of 3 daughters born to Alfredo and Jane Caputo. With a computer whiz for a father and a biologist for a mother, her pedigree all but guaranteed a future career in STEM fields. It was the broadcast of the 1969 Apollo moon landing that set Lisa on her path to the stars. After graduating from high school in 1981, Lisa enrolled in the U.S. Naval Academy, where she obtained a degree in aerospace engineering. From there, she became a naval flight officer, where she logged over 1,500 flight hours across more than 30 different aircraft. Eventually, she specialized in electronic warfare and upgraded her degree to a master's as she continued on her journey to become one of the few women to slip the surly bonds of Earth and touch the face of God. Even with all the work associated with becoming an astronaut, Lisa found time to fall in love. While attending the Naval Academy, she began dating a fellow classmate named Richard Nowak, who she eventually married in 1988. By the time she began working for NASA in 1996, Lisa was about as prepared as anyone can be to strap themselves to a controlled explosion and fling themselves into orbit.
Yeah.
Her accomplishments are extremely impressive, especially considering the time period that she did it in and just everything that she accomplished in general.
Yes. And we'll hold off on, we're going to pause our misogyny for 1 second. And women at this time too, at her exact time trying to do this stuff, it was also a minefield of constant, just like jokes, harassment. She had to be not only super, super smart, super driven, top of the class on everything, she had to be even more than the dudes for them even to consider. Because it wasn't like, we've got to have one woman, we've got to have one black guy. It was like, they didn't want it. And you had to like literally force them to be like, I am the top of my class and I did all of this shit better than everyone else. And she did, and was super smart. She was going to go to Brown University before Naval Academy because she was just like, all right, I want to go to, I mean, she was insanely smart, driven, perfectionist, and really, really good. Even, you know, mental assessments and everything. She was like, could handle stuff, think on her feet, probably the best at this time when she's in there, the best candidate for being in space, something going wrong, anything.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Women often say that motherhood is one of the most difficult jobs on the planet, as it is with most claims made by women.
That was a very brief pause on the misogyny.
Yeah, because Coop's right back into it. This is a logical fallacy stemming from the fact that men do all of the hard jobs, so we have nothing difficult to compare motherhood to. And I told you to keep the writing straightforward, and you cannot help yourself.
Well, it's pertinent to the story. These are, I mean, this is spoken in the first person, so
sure.
I don't know why.
At least this is my understanding of the situation as patiently explained to me by my husband through crayon drawings and single syllable words. But despite perceiving difficulty, somehow Lisa was able to raise a family alongside being an astronaut, which is also insane. In 1992, Lisa gave birth to a son who was later followed by twin daughters in 2001. Throughout this entire process, Lisa continued to work her fingers to the bone so she could achieve her dream of obtaining a spot on the shuttle crew. Amazingly, her perseverance paid off, and her first flight was scheduled for July 4th, 2006, aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery.
And all joking aside, that is insanely impressive that she accomplished all of that while going through 3 pregnancies and childbirths.
And her husband was also deployed during that time for a little thing called I forget what it is, but it was like September 11th, but I always forget what happened. But
wasn't that when didn't like Queen Elizabeth die on September 11th or something? Or was that
one of them?
Day after?
So
I don't know. I forgot.
So then her husband's deployed. She's a single parent with 3 kids.
And
still
stayed
doing
in the fucking space program.
Stayed in the space program.
God.
And had to keep up with everything. You can't show any sign of any weakness. If you're having a hard time, if you're tired, you have to be like, nope, I'm fine. Because if I say I'm not fine, I will not be able to go to space, right? So this is all happening. Exactly.
Kids, they can't go to space.
She couldn't give them any inkling of it being hard or her not being able to handle it or whatever. So she was doing all of that. Also within that time, not within that time, but the Challenger. Have you heard of it? It's this is perfect because this is one that Ross wanted us to do.
Oh, yeah.
He said, do Crime Corner on the Challenger. So the Challenger, if you guys don't know, was I think it was the first space shuttle with not 1, but 2 women on it.
It might have been the first one with 2 women on it. But yeah, there was a school teacher on there. And her entire class was watching.
Yeah, so that was 1986. And she actually knew people on this, like close friends with people on this shuttle, and was actually in line to go on it, but was, held back because they could only have 1. If they were going to have any women, there was only going to be 1, right?
Yeah. You're definitely going to limit the numbers.
So
can you imagine being stuck in space and their cycles sync up? That's going to be worse than Apollo 13. Okay,
but on a serious note, imagine that you were supposed to go on that and you didn't, and like your best friend was,
Oh yeah,
and everyone that you went to school with and know. So that's just something, and motherhood and single parent, and also the minefield of everything that she has to deal with daily. Let's just throw that in the pot of what's going on right there. So for 13 days, she finally got on in 2006, after being, put aside, bumped down, probably because of her, having kids or whatever, she finally got on the Space Shuttle Discovery. So for 13 days, Lisa orbited the Earth, performing the highly specialized duties of a female astronaut.
She loaded 28,000 pounds of supplies. She operated the robotic arm during spacewalks and things like that.
And it was a huge feat.
It was.
People were very, it was a big deal when she came back. It was like celebration by many people and her family and her husband's back and, all these things. It was kind of amazing. It's what she wanted to do her entire life.
Yeah, it was a summation of all of her dreams coming together. And I mean, it's fucking the amount of people that say that they want to be astronauts growing up, and then even the ones that try.
It's saying I want to.
The small percentage of them that actually make it through it's astounding.
So you can understand when people go, Katy Perry? Do you know what? You can understand when astronauts are like, but also don't call yourself an astronaut, because it is
a little insulting.
A little bit. And no one could really understand that. Lisa Nowak understands that shit. Where she goes, Katie. Katie. Basically, she's done it. Yeah. She's done it. Is she going to do it again? Not sure. But what happens once you've done the one thing that you've been working for your whole life? Not sure.
Other things might seem a little boring. Mm-hmm. Probably goes without saying, but astronauts are a little crazy. Basically, they're the college-educated version of an adventurous redneck telling his friend, hey, hold my beer, I want to try something. Anyone who not only willingly but enthusiastically straps themselves to thousands of pounds of volatile material for a white-knuckle trip out of the atmosphere has to have a few screws loose. But, considering all the mental stress that Lisa had been going through, she was a little crazier than average.
And it was specifically, after. So, Buzz Aldrin talks about, what happens to you when you've been up there.
Oh yeah, I think every astronaut has stories about the change in perspective. But
and the malaise of things, I forget what his quote is, but the malaise of things being done. Like the malaise of everything, it being over.
Like, where do you go from there?
Where do you go from you've done it, the champagne's done, nobody's congratulating you really anymore. It's just sort of you're back.
There's not really much better bragging rights than saying yeah, I've been to space or I've walked on the moon.
Right. But if you're one of those people, you want to just do it again and again, right? But you're not going to. So it's sort of I did it. Now I'm on the other side of the mountain kind of thing.
Yeah. So 2 years before Lisa slipped the bonds of earth to touch the face of God, she slipped the restrictive bonds of matrimony to touch another man's penis. In 2004, whilst in the midst of training for a trip to the ISS, Lisa began having an affair with a fellow astronaut named Bill O'Fillane, a Navy commander training in the same program as her. The two bonded over their shared struggles within the aerospace program and their mutual love of cheating on their spouses. It's good to have things in common.
Sure.
Over the next few years, Lisa and Bill's affair acted as a backdrop for the training program. The combination of training together each day and sleeping together as often as they could imagine naturally caused them to form a close bond. So close, in fact, that Bill himself described his relationship with Lisa as, quote, somewhat exclusive.
Yeah.
Interesting way to put that.
I think they were super into each other, obviously, at a certain point.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it.
Yeah.
But, considering the fact that they were both married at the time, that's funny calling their affair exclusive.
Somewhat exclusive.
But apparently the love they shared was greater than what they felt for their spouses, and soon they began to distance themselves from their respective partners. Bill was the first one to pull the trigger on ending his marriage. In early 2005, he sat down for an open and honest heart-to-heart with his wife, Michaela, to give her the devastating news. Or at least that's what he would have done if he weren't the type of shitbird that cheats on his spouse.
And that I warn you guys not to be. Okay?
Instead, what really happened was Michaela stumbled across incriminating emails between Bill and Lisa, and she kicked his philandering ass to the curb. Now, it was Lisa's turn to rip her marriage apart and ruin her entire household.
Right. Which Bill is asking her to do, and she's saying she's going to.
Encouraging her, giving her promises for the two of them being together after they both get out of their marriages.
Yes, and maybe at this point, that's how he felt, right? Like, if you leave right now, we can be together.
Strike while the iron's hot.
If you make me wait, God, Bill, that flat top.
That flat top
That flat
waits for
top.
no woman.
Yeah, it's got to get out there on the down. So after getting the boot, Bill moved into an apartment on his own and gave Lisa a key so they could continue their affair. In the meantime, Lisa worked on building up the courage and legal budget to divorce her husband, Richard. An affair between two people with normal jobs is, for lack of a better term, a high-stakes affair. For astronauts, however, the risk was even greater. The extramarital activities not only put their marriages in jeopardy, it was also grounds for dismissal from NASA entirely. They just don't want any, that's why they go through rigorous mental evaluations. They just don't want anything to be clouding any drama, anything even going on in your life. Like, you've got to be...
You're going to be operating multi-million-dollar equipment that's also responsible for keeping
Unless
people
you're a
alive.
dude.
So.
Unless you're a dude, I think they'll let some things go. But due to NASA regulations, illicit affairs are strictly forbidden. They not only besmirch the reputation of the organization, but they are a risk to mission security. Seeing as both Bill and Lisa were training for an upcoming flight, they were all but assured to lose their positions on the team if their relationship came to light. As a result, Lisa was slow and methodical in her approach to ending her marriage, so as to ensure that Bill would be able to participate in the upcoming STS-116 mission and that she wouldn't get fired. So she's the one that's keeping, let's be clear, like a level head about it and not flying off any handles, so that he can do his mission and they both can keep their jobs. Interesting. Luckily for the pair, both Lisa and Bill were both highly productive and squared away officers. Despite Bill's wife learning of the affair, the brass at NASA was none the wiser. Bill successfully piloted the STS-116. Is that what?
Yeah, STS-116.
Mission in December of 2006. And when the beginning of 2007 rolled around, both he and Lisa were still gainfully employed with NASA. Unfortunately, due to a combination of Bill's impatience and Lisa's disregard for boundaries, everything was about to come crashing down around them. So within this time, Lisa actually did go up, right? In 2006.
Yeah.
So she also was like, I don't want to put my flight in jeopardy. And then she comes back and she's like, all right, cool. I think I can do this. Right?
Yeah. And she had already done her flight at that point. So she was trying to not risk future flights because her performance on the first mission was so good that she most definitely had an opening on another mission. It's actually kind of surprising that she didn't go up on the mission with Bill, which would have been an interesting trip for the two of them.
Right. I think her friend, or not her friend, but someone that she worked with, Stephanie, don't know her last name. Stephanie, the gal astronaut.
Yeah, Stephanie the astronaut.
Stephanie the astronaut got on the mission instead of her. So then it was kind of becoming clear to her as well that she may not go up again because there wasn't another one planned.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Where it's like, how long am I going to do this? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned earlier, Lisa was being cautious about ending her marriage lest it end her career as well. This was becoming a problem for Bill, who at this point was already a year ahead of Lisa in the divorce process. After nearly 2 decades of marriage, Bill was single and ready to mingle, and he was growing tired of sneaking around with Lisa and yearned for a relationship that didn't put his career at risk. It was clearly time for him to break things off with Lisa and move on. In January of 2007, Bill sat down for an open and honest heart-to-heart with Lisa to give her the devastating news. At least that's what he would have done if he weren't the type of shitbird to not only cheat on his spouse, but also cheat on the woman he was cheating on his spouse with.
Oof.
Turned out that Bill was a Matryoshka doll of extramarital fuckery. When one layer of infidelity was removed, it revealed yet another matching layer underneath. With his track record, it stands to reason that the only reason he even became an astronaut in the first place was to try to get a little side action with the moon behind the Earth's back. Considering how their relationship began, this should have been obvious to Lisa, but the news still came as a total shock to her when he finally dropped the bomb and announced that he had been dating another woman named Colleen Shipman since November of 2006. We've got a picture of the happy couple here together.
Yes. Look at them.
They really, I could peg them as being an astronaut and an Air Force
without even knowing
without even
what
seeing him in uniform, because he looks exactly like an astronaut and she looks like every woman in the Air Force.
Right. Also, I think he fibbed a little bit on when he started dating.
Really? Was it earlier than November?
So he had said when he finally talked to Lisa, it was because Colleen was like, Lisa had written Bill's mom a letter about how, she was ready to settle down with her son and she loved him so much and considered her, because she had known her, because they had been dating, working together, whatever, for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I think his mom, because Colleen was on her way to meet the family, possibly talked to Bill and said, Bud, you've got a little loose end here, friend. You've got some loose ends. So he then told Lisa, hey, I don't think we should do this anymore. I've sort of just started to see someone. So again, now.
Bill really was a pussy.
He was. And we will find out later that will be to his detriment.
So the news was exceptionally shocking to Lisa, especially considering the timing of the announcement. After nearly a year of preparation, she had finally pulled the trigger on ending her marriage and moved out of the home she shared with her husband. It was a major risk, but she felt safe in making the decision because her handsome astronaut boyfriend was going to come back from his mission in space soon and sweep her off her feet. Instead, he swept her legs out from under her.
Yes. Following the shocking news, Lisa decided to be the bigger person and accept Bill's offer to remain friends. So Bill's just like, hey, I have been waiting and, I think I've kind of moved on, but I do want to, we can still be friends. We can train together. You can keep the key, like whatever. We're fine. And Lisa seemed to be fine with that. After all, they were highly trained professionals, not a white trash couple on Jerry Springer. So after the breakup, Bill began openly dating Colleen while still hanging out with Lisa in his free time. In the end, it was an ideal outcome for both of them. Bill was able to pursue his new love interest without losing his closest friend. And for Lisa, it was the perfect opportunity to begin creating a pattern of life analysis on Colleen without drawing too much suspicion. She was going to need it for what she had planned next. So she still had keys, she still had passwords, and she ended up finding how long Bill had actually been with Colleen. For those of you who have never done work with a 3-letter agency, a pattern of life analysis, or POA, is a detailed outline of a person's daily activities. It includes their work schedule, most visited locations, and times of day they are the most likely to be there. They are used by intelligence agencies to assist in surveillance, or when the occasion calls for it, to locate an assassination target. Well, we'll let you guess what Lisa was going to need one for. On the surface, Lisa put forth the appearance of a colleague and workout buddy. They would work out together, train together. She would change at his house still. But behind the scenes...
That had to have been weird for Colleen too, right? I can't imagine Colleen being okay with this. Because for me, it's always a red flag. Yeah. I just think it's weird if somebody's hanging out with their ex. If you have to have some sort of contact because there's accounts that still need to be settled, that's one thing. But to actually carry on a friendship with your ex, I am never cool with that.
Saying the people in this story did a lot of things wrong.
Yeah.
Handled a lot of things weirdly. I think Colleen during this time was kind of like, hey, but she knows that she knows about us and she knows that it's over, right? So I'm sure Colleen is the only one in this situation that's kind of like, what's up? But behind the scenes, she was having a total meltdown. Lisa was. She had just completely turned her life upside down for this man, and in return, all she had gotten was reserved seating in the friend zone. Even for a normal, well-adjusted person, the heartbreak would have been devastating. But as we'll soon learn, Lisa was far from being a normal, well-adjusted person. And again, it could be circumstantial. You've just been in space, bro. You come back, you've lost everything. The one thing you kind of had a little bit of a grasp on is like, oh yeah, that wasn't even like a thing. And you're like, what? What? Okay, so I'm never going to space again. That was dope. Mm-hmm. And I can never do it again. And now I don't have a husband. The guy I was gonna, what? And I'm also a little fucking weird because I'm an astronaut, dude. Like, my mind works different.
Definitely, like you were talking about before, the mental stress of everything that Lisa's gone through, for sure.
And had to keep secret.
Yeah, for sure had to have an impact on her overall mental health. I think that there's a bit of a chicken in the egg situation going on, though, because I think that there had to have been some sort of underlying
that would have come out at some point. Yes,
that had to have been triggered by the stress.
Yes, because all of us have been under stress.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I do agree that the stress played a major factor into it, but not everybody cracks in this specific way under stress.
I like that argument, and we can expand on that later.
Near the end of January, while Bill was at work doing astronaut stuff, Lisa used a key he had given her while they were still together to gain access to his apartment. Once inside, she logged into his personal computer and began going through any documents she could find. There, she discovered a treasure trove of sexually charged emails between Bill and Colleen, which was exactly the push she needed to finally send her over the edge.
So it was first like the timing of it, and then you're looking at like sexting between the guy you still kind of like or thought that you were going to be with and blew your marriage up for, and you see them and the timing. And it's probably, I mean, it's always bad to see someone else's sexting, embarrassing, send you over the edge.
Yeah. So along with the raunchy messages, Lisa discovered a confirmation email for a flight to Orlando in early February that Bill had purchased for Colleen. So at this point, I believe Colleen's living near Cape Canaveral out in Florida, while Bill and Lisa are both stationed in Houston.
Okay, so then she's having to be flown out there. Yeah.
Looking at the trip details, Lisa knew that this was her last and only chance to get Colleen out of the picture and win Bill back, and she had just the plan to do it. But actually executing her plan was going to take grit, determination, and the largest box of diapers the U.S. government could produce.
And you guys have probably figured out that we're talking about diaper astronaut. Diaper astronaut lady.
It has to be obvious at this point.
I don't know. That couldn't have imprinted on Bluke, could it? You don't remember?
I don't remember
diaper astronaut that drove crazily to her.
I mean, I'm sure I heard about it at some point.
You must have.
When this happened, you would have been what, like 10 years old?
What year was this again?
2007.
2007. Yeah.
So you weren't on the late night talk show circuit or all the jokes.
I was a little bit older than that before I started picking up on the headlines. Like the only headline I knew before that would have been O.J. Simpson, but that was crammed down everybody's throat.
Exactly. Yeah, this was kind of a couple jokes on late night and didn't last very long, but it was a lot, like to where it imprinted.
Yeah.
Like, diaper. Anyone of a certain age knows diaper astronaut lady. Sure. So that's what we're talking about here. Also, Colleen, like I said, because she was a little bit skeptical of their friendship, she's like, fine, you can do this, but jokingly was kind of like, she's not gonna like come and try and kill me or anything, right? Not even joking. And Bill's like, no, like she's a fucking decorated astronaut. She's totally normal. She also She was helping like grieving families during like the Challenger, or people that would lose astronauts or military. Like she would go above and beyond. She was thought of very highly.
I mean, honestly,
so even Bill was like, no, dude.
She really is one of the last people that you would expect
100%
to snap and do this.
Yes. And what?
She snapped in a big way.
Yes. So according to Lisa, when she left for Orlando from her home in Houston, Texas, she had nothing but good intentions. She knew it was a long shot, but she hoped that if she could just have a chat with Colleen in person, they could come to an agreement that didn't involve Lisa being dumped like a bag of laundry. Seeing as her decision to meet with Colleen in Orlando was last minute, catching a flight was out of the question. This meant that in order to catch Colleen at the airport, Lisa would have to drive nonstop for nearly 14 hours. To accomplish a feat like that, she was going to need some specialized equipment. Thankfully, astronauts know very well how to use. Prior to setting off on her journey, Lisa loaded up the items any person would need for a totally nonviolent trip to just chat with a gal, including Colleen's flight itinerary, directions to Colleen's home in Cape Canaveral, rubber gloves, a disguise including black clothing and a wig, and just in case she got bored on the drive, she tossed a knife and a gun in her bag as well.
I mean, the same thing anybody takes on a road trip.
Right. The pistol only fired BBs, but the knife was more than real enough to make up for it. Funnily enough, considering the fact she was driving to Florida, the weapons were probably the least suspicious part of her kit. Most importantly of all, Lisa packed the one thing that made her marathon run possible in the first place. Something that was always discreet. Something guaranteed her plan would prevail. Something she could depend on. Something that loves and pampers her. Most importantly, something in which she could pinch a loaf should she find herself in a pinch. Lisa's secret weapon was a family-sized box of aerospace-grade adult diapers, which she had on hand. Here's the thing. She had those already. If we're talking about diaper astronaut, she's like, this is what I do. We do this all the time when we're in space. We're in diapers. She's like, let me just act like I'm in space.
I mean, sometimes when you have a day off from work, you end up throwing on your work shirt.
Let's look at these astronaut diapers because they are a catch-all.
They're intense. I didn't think that they were like that all-encompassing.
Oh, because
I mean,
Bud,
it makes sense, but
it can't get out.
The legs and like.
And look at like the cinch at the legs. They look like shorts.
Yeah.
And then there's a cinch at the bottom of the short because if it gets down, it can't go any further than that.
I mean,
then it snatches your waist too.
If
Crazy.
you've changed some diapers and you've dealt with a blowout in gravity, imagine dealing with a blowout in zero gravity. Holy shit, it'd be everywhere.
Yeah. So these are the real deal. They don't even look like they're made out of cloth. They look like a spacesuit material.
They look like they could take a bullet.
Yes. Look like they should be bulletproof, I feel.
Yeah, well, I mean, depending on the type of food that they're feeding the astronauts, you might want them to be.
There was also some rubber hoses and other types of restraint type things, as well as like bondage type kit. But again, I don't know.
Just taking a road trip to see a friend.
Chat.
Yeah, just
she's going for a chat. Now, what she wants to do on the way, up to her.
That's between her and God.
She's a lady by herself on the open road. You got to be ready for anything, huh?
You got to be ready for
all of that could be a bear attack. But I mean, anything. She's just ready for
the bondage gears for bears.
Well, you know, once you get him down with the bear, you got to, you know what I mean? Hog tie him, as it were.
Show him who's boss and make him call you daddy.
Okay, so this is interesting.
On February 4th, 2007, Lisa stuffed her gun in her waistband, strapped a diaper to her ass, and hopped in her Mazda 3 for the long trip to Florida. Okay, now that being said, after doing the research, I'm not convinced that she actually was using the diapers. It kind of makes sense that she would just have some in her car, being an astronaut. I mean, she might be using them on her own time.
I think she was wearing one.
You think she was?
I think from the research, either she was wearing one or she had, I think she was wearing one.
Oof. Yeah, that definitely makes it worse.
Just because it is the only way that she made it all the way. She had to not stop.
I could do a 14-hour nonstop drive without going to the bathroom if I planned ahead for it. Like if I just...
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I'm horrible about staying hydrated. There are some days where like I'll go the whole day without going pee and be like, oh shit, I probably need to drink some water. But I'm the same way with food. I might just be retarded.
No follow-up questions. Coop, that's insane. But carry on.
To avoid leaving a paper trail, she paid for gas using only cash, and her absorbent undergarments allowed her to avoid making any unnecessary stops along the way. Her expert planning allowed her to not only reach Florida before Colleen's flight landed, she ended up arriving in Orlando over an hour ahead of schedule. This gave her ample time to scope out the area and find the perfect spot to launch her surprise conversation. A couple hours before Colleen's flight landed, Lisa entered the airport and changed into her disguise. Or I think it was an hour before the flight landed. She went into the airport and changed into her disguise. Then around 1 a.m., her target arrived and the pursuit began. Lisa tailed Colleen through the terminal and onto a shuttle bus that took the pair to the airport parking lot. Then, just after Colleen climbed into her car, Lisa approached with the cover story of needing help with a dead battery. When Colleen rolled down the window, Lisa began the conversation with a geyser of pepper spray, which Colleen misinterpreted as an attack.
That's how some people chat.
I know. This caused her to flee the scene without giving Lisa the opportunity to plead her case. Now, as you can see, the whole ordeal was nothing more than a big understanding. All Lisa wanted to do was have an innocent conversation, and Colleen blew it out of proportion.
A big misunderstanding.
Huge misunderstanding. At least
you never know with you if you meant to write big understanding. But big misunderstanding, yes.
At least that was what she emphatically claimed upon being arrested in the airport parking lot. Surprisingly, despite the somewhat unbelievable nature of her tale, her defense would end up trying to sell the very same story at her trial or hearing.
Yes. So the cops found her around the same area.
Yeah.
Just kind of wandering around, and she ended up ditching the bag, which they found. So she's not firing on all cylinders. She's not firing on cylinders, but
because she is smarter than this, arguably.
Yes, and to your point, she had many. You can say breakdown, you can say whatever, but she had the hour before the flight. This is downtime. She had 2 hours that Colleen was waiting for her luggage to back out of. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we're adding the 2 hours that Colleen is sleeping, waiting for her luggage, for Lisa to back out of the conversation, the chat. You know, there's lots of, it's when you talk about premeditated or an actual breakdown or in the heat of the moment, that's 3 hours alone after the flight of like wandering in an airport and thinking about maybe not doing it.
On top of
and still deciding to do it. Yeah. So we're factoring that in, although the defense would not. Following her arrest, Lisa was charged with attempted kidnapping, burglary of a vehicle, and misdemeanor battery. Initially, the detectives in charge of the case recommended she be charged with attempted murder as well, due to the murder kit she had packed in her car. However, prosecutors ultimately decided not to pursue the murder charge in order to increase their chances of conviction. And when they first brought her in for interrogation, they were very surprised at who she was, what she did. They were almost not believing that it was her and giving her many, many benefits of the doubt. So when she was first arrested, I think her bail was $15,000, and it was kind of like, attempted battery or burglary or something. And then once things started coming out, they upped it. But they were just like, we can't, what? like, this can't be right. Astronaut that was just in space.
When the news stories first started circulating, that there was a lot of debate over whether or not she had actually
done anything.
Yeah.
And even revisiting this, I am revisiting because in our headlines, the only thing we heard as kids or whatever was diaper astronaut all we heard was drove 14 hours in a diaper.
Yeah.
To assault. We didn't hear about the actual assault. We didn't hear about the bag, what was in it, what she was planning on doing. We didn't hear about any of that.
Yeah.
So it was really just like, oh, well, she drove really far in a diaper and didn't end up being able to do anything. But that's not actually true, right? Mm-hmm. As you dig more into it. So they increased it to... They
increase her chances of
conviction.
Honestly, not charging her with attempted murder was the smartest thing to do in that situation, because there's no way they could have gotten a conviction on that.
If NASA frowned upon adultery, they frowned upon felonies even more. Once the news broke, both Lisa Nowak and Bill O'Flynn were terminated from the agency, and representatives were forced to make an embarrassing public apology following the scandal. Not wanting to go down with his crazy ex, Bill chose to cooperate with police and testify against his former love interest. Great, Bill. Great. Should we show Colleen's victim statement at this point?
Yeah, let's
right, because we're getting into what ultimately ended up happening. Let's listen to how Colleen feels about literally the attempted murder based on the kit and what happened to her.
Know who to look at?
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ma'am, please state your name and spell your last name.
It is Colleen Marie Shipman. The last name is spelled Shipman.
And are you the victim in this case?
Yes.
And is there something you'd like to tell the court and Ms. Nowak about what happened to you?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
And have you prepared a statement?
I have.
Okay, you can read it whenever you like.
Thank you. Your Honor, first, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Colleen Shipman, as I just said, and shortly after I turned 30 years old, Lisa Nowak hunted me down and attacked me in a dark parking lot. Her attack was part of a well-researched, well-planned, and deliberate crime. Now, almost 3 years later, I'm still reeling from her vicious attack, and I'm still trying to put my life back together amidst the terrible, relentless media scrutiny that Lisa Nowak, thank you, brought down on me, first with her attack and later with her PR campaign. I knew in my heart when Lisa Nowak attacked me that she was going to kill me.
She's saying
It was in her eyes.
She is. I think we got it
A
wrong.
blood-chilling expression of limitless rage and glee. It's my understanding that Lisa Nowak had researched murder, corpse dismemberment, as well as disguises and trace evidence. And I'm 100%
Maybe that's what she wanted to have the conversation
came
about.
Here to murder me, and I believe that she never thought she'd get caught. She began preparing for her crimes weeks before she committed them. She thoroughly researched my personal information. She entered my boyfriend's apartment, and without his permission or knowledge, she stole my contact information, my travel itinerary, and several personal emails between myself and my boyfriend. She also collected my address, the latitude and longitude coordinates of my house,
Was she going to call in an airstrike?
my
Do you
cell
need a
phone
10-digit
number,
grid
and
on
my
that?
email address. She gathered weapons and torture devices, which in her own words were too scary to even think about, but apparently not scary enough to prevent her from bringing them along during her attack on me. Lisa Nowak's claim that she only wanted to talk to me is at best ridiculous. I believe it is one of many lies that she designed to deceive and gain sympathy from this court, NASA, the U.S. Navy, her friends, her family, and the American people. Please don't be fooled. I was fooled. Lisa Nowak is a very good actress. On February 5th, 2007, Lisa Nowak had ample opportunity to talk to me. She stealthily followed me inside the Orlando International Airport for hours. I'm a very friendly person, Your Honor, who at that time would have welcomed her company over some hot chocolate while I was waiting for my suitcase to arrive. When I rode the bus to the scene of the crime with her, I actually made an effort to strike up some small talk by smiling at her and nodding my head in her direction, but she ignored me. When she got off the bus at my stop, then lingered there with her duffel bag full of torture devices, my intuition was screaming at me that I was in danger. I ignored it, and I bid the bus driver good night. When Lisa Nowak began following me through the parking lot, I noticed that she still had her duffel bag with her. She was close enough and it was quiet enough for me to hear the swishing of her pants, and I never heard her drop that bag. I had to sprint to my car to escape her. Had I been but a fraction of a second slower in locking my car, this court, I have no doubt, would instead be hearing a first-degree murder trial. In that moment, I believed that she was going to kill me to steal my suitcase or my car. She tried to force the handle to open my car door, and she beat on my window. I was sitting in my driver's seat and shaking with fear. I yelled at her while I fumbled with my keys. And that's when I was fooled. She turned on her charm and spun a pitiful story, imploring me for help. She looked genuine and she looked sane, and it was a night and day difference from the expression she gave in her mugshot.
That is freaky.
As scared as I was, and as sure as I was that just moments ago this woman at my window was going to kill me, I was still deceived by her. As I said, she is a very good actress. She pretended to be a helpless traveler. She told me that she was stranded and afraid to be alone in a dark parking lot. She played on my sympathies. She convinced me that her intentions were innocent. She took advantage of my goodwill, and as soon as I cracked my window to help her, she struck. She blasted me with what felt like acid. It burned my eyes, my nose, and my mouth, and it sucked the air out of me. I don't know what other weapons she had at the ready, because I didn't hang around to find out. I stomped on the gas, and I wondered if there was a gun pointed at my head. My eyes and throat were on fire, and my lungs ached for air. I fought the urge to breathe in whatever poison it was that she had sprayed me with. I thought I had just escaped a carjacking, and I was sure that she had just tried to kill me to steal my car. I had no idea that a high-ranking, high-paid military officer had just attacked me. I believe I escaped a horrible death that night. It was a nightmare, and the nightmare continues in the media with suggestions that I lied or changed my story. My account of what happened the night that Lisa Nowak attacked me is the truth, and I never changed my story. Lisa Nowak did chase me to my car. She did force her way into my car. She tricked me into open my window. She did reach through my car window with pepper spray, and she did spray me directly with pepper spray. Lisa Nowak has made much of her state of mind and various psychiatric diagnoses during the course of these legal proceedings. As she attacked me on 5 February 2007, rest assured she was angry, but she was also well composed, and she moved with deliberate efficiency. The only thing her disheveled appearance and her pathetic countenance in her mugshot illustrates is her despair from being caught red-handed in a crime she endeavored so hard to hide. Before she drove to from Houston to Orlando to intercept me, she hid her intentions and her whereabouts, I believe, for the weekend from her coworkers. She chose to drive the 1,000-mile distance rather than fly, which ensured no record of her trip. She covered her tracks by traveling under a fake name, wearing a disguise, and making minimal stops and using only cash. She brought with her a myriad of weapons, which one seasoned detective had called a murder kit. Lisa Nowak told police from her holding cell that she planned to use the weapons that she brought with her to force me to sit with her. During her statements to police, she fretted over NASA finding out about her arrest, but she never once, that I know of, never did she express any concern for her victim or remorse for the damage that she inflicted on me. Her only concern, it seems, since her crime has been for herself and her public image. To illustrate her indifference to the law and to this court's orders, in the fall of 2007, after both this court and her military commander ordered her to have no contact with myself or Mr. Offline, I found a book that Lisa Nowak had sent to Mr. Offline, which contained several purple Post-it notes with suggestive messages. Also, the bond judge ordered her to have no contact with me, not even through a third party, not even to apologize. Nevertheless, following a hearing in August of 2007, she did just what the bond judge had ordered her not to. She called a press conference and used the media to communicate a message to me. My life since Lisa Nowak has attacked me is unrecognizable. The world as I knew it before Lisa Nowak attacked me is gone. Every stranger I see is a potential attacker. Going out into public is exhausting. I constantly look over my shoulder trying to keep track of everyone around me so that I can't be a victim to a surprise attack again.
Okay, we can stop here. Yes, of course. Mental anguish, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
insane that they still tried to argue that she didn't have any negative intentions after driving cross country with the fucking murder kit.
Well, she had very good lawyers, and she also had a lot of supporters. So her character witnesses on her behalf were a lot. It was like families that she had helped through grieving, people that worked with her, friends, family, like it. You know, the only people that were really saying anything against her were Colleen and Bill. And those were people that, you know,
have reasons to want to say bad things about her.
Right. So they couldn't find anyone else to say anything bad. So she had that on her side. Now, we were debating earlier, like, her defense was just a total mental breakdown, but really just wanting to talk, right?
Mm.
Come on.
I mean, maybe if they just pushed specifically for a mental break, like a moment of insanity.
A mental break, not mental break. And I just wanted to get her in one place to talk to her, tie her up. You know what I mean? Like, But I was going to talk. I was only going to talk. And the truth is, like, you can't prove what she was going to do. Colleen knows. Colleen saw her. Colleen saw the look in her eye. Colleen got sprayed, right? But no one else can prove what she was actually going to do.
So Lisa was able to get right up to the driver's side window of Colleen's car, and Colleen looked her square in the face and still didn't recognize her. I'm pretty impressed by whatever costume she was wearing.
It was wig, trench coat, glasses, nothing like...
I mean, that's like the same kind of shit that keeps Clark Kent disguised as Superman.
Dark glasses, like sunglasses, but also, yeah, you're right. Like
sunglasses at 1 a.m. walking through a dark parking lot wearing a trench coat. That's fucking horrifying.
But you're also in an airport, Houston. Do you know what I mean? So you're also like, okay, whatever, weirdo. Like, I don't know. Like I was saying, if I were to look at people in the airport as potential, killers of me, it would be every single person through TSA. It would be like, what? Why are you wearing sunglasses at night? The amount of times that's happened where I'm like, what are you doing? You're probably hungover. You're coming from Vegas. I don't fucking know, right? But, yeah, I'm sure it was crazy for her, and then also the press around it, and the status that Lisa had that Colleen didn't. They were both, actually all of them, in the same field and worked for NASA. But Colleen was just higher up, well established. She's seen the fucking space up close.
Yeah.
Sorry, Colleen. They're gonna believe her. So it was a lot, but that victim impact statement, I think, sort of says it all from that perspective. Yeah. But carry on. Or I will.
Yeah, that's you.
So Lisa and Bill were terminated from the agency, and representatives were forced to make an embarrassing public apology following the scandal. Not wanting to go down with his crazy ex, Bill chose to cooperate with police and testify against his former love interest. Lisa's case ultimately took 2 years to complete. Over the course of the proceedings, it transformed from eye-catching headline about a crazy lady in astronaut diapers into a complex battle over constitutional rights and psychological evaluations. But to be perfectly honest, that part of the story is incredibly boring in comparison to the lunatic peeing her pants throughout a road trip across the southern states. So we'll leave that to the legal scholars.
There was some interesting stuff in there, but it was boring as hell.
Well, and there's been some changes made because of it. And, there was talk of like, should there be co-ed, you know, even going up in the shuttle, which we know never got implemented.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
this case really made NASA look a lot at like how hard they pushed these people, what they expected of them as far as the psychological evaluations, not letting them take a break, ask for help, like even say that anything was wrong. So it did change things in that realm. We're still going up co-ed though.
I know that's interesting to think about, especially in terms of taking a trip to Mars, which can take between 3 and 6 months.
Right.
Having a co-ed mission, I feel like, I mean, it might be me being misogynistic again, but I feel like that's just going to introduce risk of unnecessary problems, like avoidable problems.
Sure.
Lisa's diped up drive was practically impossible to dispute due to receipts and CCTV footage recovered during the investigation. This meant that her trial ultimately boiled down to whether or not she intended to do any harm to Colleen once she arrived in Orlando. Her defense insisted that all she wanted to do was talk, but the presence of what can only be described as a crime kit in her car made that claim dubious at best. They could see the writing on the wall well before the trial was even scheduled. In the end, Lisa entered a plea deal in order to avoid a much more severe punishment. In return for pleading guilty to felony burglary of a vehicle and misdemeanor battery, the more serious charge of attempted kidnapping would be dropped. Had she been convicted of the original charges, she would have spent the rest of her life behind bars. And if you think Florida is bad, you should see their prisons. Even after her insane stunt, all Lisa got was a slap on the wrist. Due to her lack of criminal history and her prestigious job as an astronaut, the judge granted her a withholding of adjudication, meaning the felony burglary charge would not appear as a formal conviction on her record. The final sentence was 1 year of probation, 50 hours of community service, an anger management course, and a handwritten letter of apology.
What?
That does seem a little
So
light.
everyone tell their story of why you're here at anger management. Lisa and Nowak.
All the other
We did
stories
say
are
it
like-
wrong literally the entire time.
Yeah, we've done that before. We'll do it again.
I mean, but you are right that it is Nowak, right?
That's what it should be.
If you are pronouncing it in the properly. But I do remember it, I think, as Nowak. But yeah.
So while this may seem like a light punishment for such an insane crime, which arguably it is, you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. Colleen was one of only a handful of women to participate in the space program, and among those women, it is an even smaller group that actually gets to go to space.
Lisa or Colleen?
Sorry, Lisa. Yeah, Lisa.
So Lisa
was one of only a handful of women to participate in the space program, and among these women, it is an even smaller group that actually gets to go to space. Now go to Google and search for Lisa Nowak, and tell me the first thing that comes up, because that is the true punishment for her crime.
It is true.
If you Google astronaut diaper, her case comes up as the first result. Just if you Google astronaut diaper. And
I wonder if you Google female astronaut.
I know that if you Google her name, the diaper story is the first thing that pops up, and you have to go into like her Wikipedia page to read her accolades, like the actual impressive shit that she did.
Yes.
Although what she did was pretty impressive, but in a different way.
In a different way. And a lot of people have been talking about, like, if it was switched, like if it was a dude, even if he was an astronaut, what if Bill, with his flat top, fucking did that exact same thing, waiting and laying in wait in the fucking airport, going to the car, pepper spraying a woman, like, you're done, dude.
Yeah.
You're done.
No question.
No question. With that murder kit, you're done.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can be misogynistic all we want, but women can do some fucking crazy shit too. So be warned. And
crazy shit, and apparently kind of get away with it.
With a little wink, because she got away with it, right?
Pretty much.
And I do believe that's what she was thinking the whole time in the trial, is like, I don't think she was thinking that when she was driving out there. I think it was a crazy mental break. But like, once the trial happened, she was like, turn it on, bitch, because we need to use everything we've done up until this point to get out of this. Where is Lisa Nowak now? Since you're looking stuff up, Luke.
Yeah,
I think right down there.
Definitely over by this point. She's definitely not back in the space program.
Lisa Nowak now. I think it was right there in that. If you go down, it'll be a question. Like, where is Lisa Nowak now?
Yeah, on the screen he's looking at, it's about as small as it is on the screen we're looking at, so I don't think any of us can read what we're looking at right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, okay.
I actually think his screen's smaller than ours.
Not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's probably completely out of any spotlight, as it were.
Yeah, for sure. I dare say she might not have given up on some of her previous hobbies.
Yes. So I will say most people covering this case, and even now, really delve into the mental health aspect of it. How much she was, how demanding her entire life was, basically, and that NASA was on all of their employees, especially women at that time, her having kids, her husband being gone, all of this. But to your point earlier, I don't know if I can use even all of that to justify a 14-hour drive in a diaper, a 3-hour lay in wait, and a really credible trying to carry out a kidnapping.
I think if maybe you only had one of those factors, like if she only made the drive and then
but that's what we all remember. That's what we always thought it was. That's why I wanted to take another look at this, because I'm like, oh, we're just going to talk about a crazy lady that drove really far, and then I thought the cops arrested her, like pulled her over on the drive, and then found all this stuff.
Oh yeah, that was
wasn't that sort of how it was
the headlines, yeah.
presented? Because of, by the way, to Colleen's point, when she was doing her victim impact, that was how Lisa really wanted it to seem, and that's what got out. She had very good defense. She had very good press tour, as it were. Mm-hmm. So that's all we got. Like, we didn't get any further than that.
There's a good chance that if she didn't look like this, that they might have believed her.
But she does look, even to Colleen said it in her statement, like she looks so, even her pathetic mugshot. Don't be fooled.
She looks like, was it a wounded bird, or what do you call that look?
Oh, I'm just crazy.
But at the same time, like, I've met homeless women that look like this, that have that injured look about them, but the insane shit that they're spewing combined with their disheveled look doesn't really lend a lot of credence to her argument. But if she was dressed up like
she
like
doesn't
an
have
astronaut,
she doesn't have crazy eyes.
True.
Those are eyes of like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
We've gone through a lot of mug shots with crazy eyes. Mm-hmm. This is like, in her mind, she's thinking, look pathetic. Do you know what I mean?
She's nailing it.
She's nailing it. But yeah, that's the classic mugshot that everyone knows. And when you see that, you go, okay, mental break. When you hear the actual story, again, more than the headline that we grew up with, it's actually a really crazy case.
Yeah, a whole lot of premeditation.
And she actually got away with, besides some Jay Leno jokes and whatever, and a big imprint on us, I guess, but she really got away with a plan for murder.
Yeah.
And in almost carrying out a murdering of someone that was dating a guy that she cheated on her husband with and moved on because she didn't leave her husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it, always. But what a great, fun joke. The diaper astronaut.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta, like, hang on to that.
So, like, if I was one of the copywriters for any news agency at that time, if I saw a story like that come in, it would be like Christmas. Like, oh man, I'm gonna have like 24 different headlines for that.
Jason Leno. Is it Jason Leno?
Is
J short
TV
for
guy?
Jason Leno?
Actually, I don't know.
I don't know, but we'll just call him Jason Leno. So Jason Leno Jason Leno literally had months of material with this. Which is like, come on, Jason.
The supply is in. I could have written this entire episode in like diaper themed.
I know, that's why I had to. Remember when I texted you? I was like, keep the story. And this was actually you keeping it pretty straight. But you can't help yourself with misogyny, right?
No, that part, it's in my genes.
Like I've mentioned before, don't care about space. Worst thing about space, food. Worst thing about space, co-ed. By the way, I wouldn't want to be co-ed with diapers and fucking all that shit. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I can live
That's
in
just me.
I can live in a normal sized house.
Let's go all gals.
And if I'm living with like a girlfriend, if I have to take a shit, I'm going to the opposite side of the house and I'm making sure that like she stays on the far side of the house just so I can have some.
I'm going to the Shell station to get a Gatorade every day. I'm sorry, I'm not even doing it in the house.
Man, Ross must think you are a huge fan of Gatorade.
I just love a Gatorade. That's probably why I started vaping. I was just like, I got to pick up a vape.
I mean, that is a good excuse for making a run to the gas station. I know in my last relationship, that was my morning excuse. Like, I got to go grab a vape. And I'd come back with a vape, but I was leaving something behind.
Sure. But the food, right? Let's talk about, there's things we love. There's things that probably astronauts miss, right?
Yeah. There's more like solid food, like getting a steak up in space or fresh fruits and vegetables is hard to come by.
Right. I think the only thing that you can get,
it's got to come in a
only
tube.
thing you can get in space,
cheese and butt stuff.
Cheese and butt stuff is the only thing now with the co-ed. That's all for this episode, but we'll be back again next week with another fun and flirty episode for all you true crime sick fuck fans out there. If you haven't already, head over to Spotify, rate and review. Tell us how much you love us and you love our pronunciation of Lisa Nowak.
And I've already forgotten how to pronounce Bill's last name.
Tell us that you like that we pronounced it in the traditional, what is it, Polish? Nordic, okay.
Yeah, whatever it is.
So we like to go very, traditional pronunciation. So if you didn't know what we were talking about when we were saying Nowak, we were saying it's Nowak.
We were saying it the right way, though.
But anyways, just give us all the shit about that because that makes it fun for you guys. You can talk shit about how we pronunciate things and how we make a joke serious things. Have fun in there.
It does make reading the comments
crazy.
Like going through and responding to the comments is a lot more fun.
So
if it's either a complaint or making fun of us. My
favorite of the comment section was on our Joyce episode.
Oh yeah, we had some good ones.
Oh, we had some good ones. We had some people, leaving comments for I think probably podcasts or Instagrams that are very advocates for victims, which we've talked about before. When you're in the crime entertainment space, anyone, any of you top two, you know who you are. You are making money off of talking about people's crimes. So shut the fuck up. But my favorite ones there were just because it's a man, he can't be. Man, they were up in arms. That's our fun. Joyce McKinney episode, if you guys want to go back, and then go ahead and read the comments, because people were really upset about the fact that we were skeptical of a man being
raped by a beauty queen.
Raped by a beauty queen in a 3-day sexcapade. I know. And it was bad. But also, I think we put it front facing that we are crime and comedy, that we are
audio
watching
fashion show first.
Audio fashion show, which is what we are
crime second,
first and foremost always. And then secondly, it's like watching Dateline with a friend and drinking wine. You're going to comment things that you probably wouldn't say, out in public, but you're on a couch with your friend and you're like, look at her. You're like, oh, really? he wasn't into it. You know,
Yeah, 100%.
That's sort of the vibe of our show.
The only
so if
difference is we're not cowards. We say it out in the open.
We say it out in the open. And if you're, you know, if you don't like that, if that's not your vibe, and if you are not honest with yourself that you do the same, then go ahead. I say go nuts in the comments. I think it's great. It's a great place for you guys to like have a common enemy. And if that's us, happy to do it. Anyways, so rate and review, comment there. That's the best place to leave a case that you want us to cover in the future. We probably will try and comb through the horrible serial killers and kid stuff to find a case to cover next time.
Listener named Babe Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which is one of my favorite fucking listener names ever. Also,
Babe Ruth
Bader Ginsburg.
No matter what the crime is, we've got to do it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's what we'll be doing.
That's what we'll be doing next episode. We will shout you out again and do your crime. Also, if you want early access to episodes of Crime Corner, bonus episodes, and all other shows on the network, sign up for Drinking Bros Patreon at patreon.com/Drinking Bros. We owe you guys an extra Patreon. We'll hopefully be able to do that next week in a fun and flirty 1-star or a cellmate soulmate. So stick around.